It's a happy day at Detroit Mush Lab. It's a happy day all day. For the rest of today, it'll be a happy day at the Detroit Mush Lab today. It's a happy, happy, happy day in Detroit all day. It's a happy, 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 happy day. It's happy, tell me you're happy. It's a happy, happy, happy day. Everyone knows that in Detroit at the Mush Lab, it's gonna be a happy day. Happy, happy, happy day. It's a happy day all day. Okay, Pops, jeez. Get some lyrics. Good morning, T Crew. Say good morning to each other. I'll be right back. Do me a favor while you're there, while you're saying hello to each other. Pay the price of admission. Pay the price of admission. It's not that much. Get out of bed, Bill D, and push the thumb. You can go back to bed. It's a happy, happy day. Happy, happy day. It's happy. One of the happiest things is all the package have been sent away. All the packages gone today. Happy, happy day. You guys wait for it, 'cause it's a happy, happy day. I don't know what to do. I just give you guys 3 or 4 minutes here. Okay? Pops went delivering mail yesterday. Well, I deliver it every day. I truly do. I might miss one day a week, depending on if I only have like 4 or 5 packages and nobody's screaming at me. I need it! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die if you don't mail it today, Pops. Where's tracking? So I go almost every day. Carlotta, leave Mary Jane alone. She's mine. No, I just want her to make me an arrow someday. Okay? And maybe blow some sage on me or something. Back to I love delivering the mail to the mailbox now. I didn't like it when I had to get in my car and go. Getting in a car to go somewhere for 15 minutes is a pain in the Watusi Mamuzi. Give me 5 people that agree. But if you could scoot over there on a scooter or a bike, same amount of time, maybe even faster, because you don't have to hit the lights, etc. Huh? Right? I hate getting in a car to go for a little drop home. Get out of here. You take your little scooter. Next thing you know, you're part of the scenery. You're part of it. You smell stuff that's out there. It's really cool. Fireplaces, cut grass. It's really nice. And you know the best part about it? Carbon footprint down really close to zero. Not spending a lot of money burning up our fossil fuels. Oh my goodness. Sandy, you've convinced your mailman to actually do his job. Mitch, he doesn't do that. Mitch says, look, I look like I came from Wayne's World. I'm Garth from Wayne's World, graduated to a job. Don't ask too much from me. Okay? Watch this. I got to show you guys something and then tell you a funny story. Most of you have seen this already, so it's gotten a lot of attention. And I'm not doing it because of that, but I was surprised how much attention it got. Pops is going to give this away to somebody today. Okay? So get ready for it. It's gonna be given to one of you. This is how we're packing them for the future. We have a few boxes going, limited run. We're gonna have about 10 ready in the next couple of weeks, and then every week we're gonna add another 10 to the stack. I don't wanna have a bunch sitting in there colonized that nobody wants. But watch this. All you have to do is boop. And then even that, boop, right back. And then make sure your chimney's open. And that's how we have them in the tent. They'll colonize right inside the box. And then when it's time, we just fold the vent flap down and in, close the box up. Boop. Off it goes to you guys. So those there are about a week and a half, 2 weeks away, and we're starting new batches once a week. Okay, what happened with Penny? I was talking. Tell me what happened with Penny. Penny back. Michelle, she's a really pretty lady, and she's got a wonderful husband. Really nice guy. Penny, what happened? There you are, Jesus. Green tubs, that sucks. I'm sorry about that. Seriously. So many lessons to learn in this game. I'm going to show you guys the goofy. This is just, first of all, you guys don't know what Pops does for you. Okay. Is it that important to me to make you guys laugh? Is it that important? Is the boat ready? I don't know. Who says Pops likes to make us laugh? We can tell Pops really kind of likes just to make us laugh. Goofy is like part of life, man. If you don't make people laugh, what's going on? Laughing, wait. Who says Pops likes to make people... Okay. Clearly, Pops likes to make people laugh, okay? So I'm heading to drop off packages yesterday. Okay. The laugh track is the best, man. So I'm heading over to drop off packages yesterday, and I'm like, wait a minute, I told the crew that one of these days I would show them as I deliver the felonies. By the way, I cracked myself up calling them felonies. Okay? Every box, each box is its own felony. Okay? That's how I look at them every day. I go, there's 12 felonies. Okay? I'm delivering one rather large felony and a few small ones. So I truly do this. It's not a joke. I literally I have a choice, obviously. There's a couple different ways I could go on the way. There's a couple different ways, obviously. But there's a part of me, I told you guys already here, I like the adrenaline rush of going by. Besides which, they can't do anything to me. They would need a warrant, stop me. What's in that box? I'm old, I'm just delivering, grandma's packages or something. I'm good. I can talk my way out of an observation from a cop. So I'm not worried about that part. Matter of fact, it makes it fun for me to zip by. Okay, I'm good with it. So I do that on a fairly regular basis now because it makes me feel good, okay? Because I like to. Anybody ever heard of the Razor's Edge? Pops lives very near there. I'm a courier, right? But wait for this. This is why I want to tell you guys the story. So yesterday, I'm on my way, and I've driven past the police station, past it. Click. Wait a minute, the T crew, I want to video this for the T crew. So what do? I do a U-turn just a little bit past the police station. I go back up the street, and now I'm gonna drive by, filming myself drive by. Okay? So I do, and by the way, this is hard because I'm driving with one hand and I've got to hold my video phone. I'm holding it like this so you guys can see me drive by. Okay? So I'm like this and I'm driving by. It's not on a stick or anything, just in my other hand. I think, oh, this is going to be really funny. So I drive by, I get to the end of the street, and I'm like, I can't wait to see my video production. So I open up my phone and I look, and it's all the houses on the other side of the street. My second drive by, I didn't flip the phone around. Okay? So now I'm at the end of the street. I have a bad video. I'm not giving up. Okay? I'm not giving up. Back over in front of the police station, go back by the other way. Okay? Turn around, do a U-turn. Now I'm gonna refilm myself with it correct this time. I have it flipped correct this time. Drive by, get to the end of the street. I forgot to push the red button. It's a true story. I'm at the end of the street. I have driven by the cop station 3 times one way, 2 times the other way. I'm driving around. I'm like, now I'm on the edge. Now I'm going way too far. All this just to get those kids. I'll do it another day. But by this point, my brain was like, I'm gonna get it. I can't imagine the cops inside the station going, there he goes again. There he goes again. Why is he going? Each time I'm driving by holding the camera. Suffice it to say, the 5th time by, I got you guys a video. That wasn't easy. And each time you're ratcheting it up the odds. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Here. Wait. This is try number 4 or 5. And then I have to still show you the camera. I have to show you the package in the basket on the back of the bike. Okay? See. Who does that? Panic attack RX. I'm driving by 4 or 5 times. I'm like, you are so stupid. Anyways, these are the... Oh, stop. I couldn't believe I was doing it. I said, I've got to tell the kids. I got to tell them what I did. I got to be honest. Then somebody has the nerve. Hey, Pops, what are all those porta potties about? I don't know, and I don't care. Oh, yeah, there's a good 10 pounds in my basket, Alan, driving up and down. I might as well have driven in there and asked one of the cops to take the video. I might as well have asked it. Bro, I can't get a good angle. Can you? Anyways, thanks for sharing that with me. If you guys aren't cracking up, you have hearts and minds of stone. You have no idea what Pops went through to make that happen. Each time I get to the end of the street, go, is this worth it? Do I do it again? Hell yeah, let's go again. Okay. Al, you're my hero too. Okay. Let's do a giveaway. Let's do our first giveaway. Thanks for listening to that story. I cracked myself up. I got home, and then after I posted it, I go, who does this? Who does this? Who's this out of line? And I'm trying to teach you guys, oh, be impeccable, be good, be also live life, okay? If I wasn't wearing camo, they'd have never seen me, okay? If I wasn't, thank goodness for my camo. I have so much fun with you guys. I'm not even joking. All right. We're gonna do true or false. We're gonna do true or false. Okay, Deborah, I keep my word. That's one thing. Oh, Pops will keep his word, whether he goes to jail or not. Sir, officer, can you film this for me? I'm having a difficult time. Okay, it's sir, Officer Johnson. Okay. Let's do Hobbs porta potties, felonies, high-speed driving. You guys, I can't be a leader anymore. Turn me off. I can't. You guys have got to have lost some faith in me. Has anybody lost faith in me? You could be honest. I would not blame you for a moment. Okay. Darn it. I'm cracking myself up again and again. Here we go. Not one bit. That speaks for you guys. Here we go. Okay, come on, Pops. We have work to do today. We got stuff to get done. Your stock just went up, Pops. I didn't know that. Well worth it then. Thanks. I can't even tell you how fun it was. It was more fun to go home and go, I did it. Especially up and down that street like 5 times. True or false? I'm going to say 3 statements. Okay, your signature just went up. Signature on a shipping box. Okay. You guys are cracking me up with the things you guys are saying. Thank you guys. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay. Let me give this away. I need to get some spawn out of here. You know what? I can't do a true or false yet. That'll be in a minute. I need to give a bag of spawn away. Oh my God, am I cracking myself up? Okay. Spawn, I want to give a bag away, but I can only give it away to somebody that can use it ASAP, immediately. They have the goods, they have a tub ready, and they have a substrate ready. Whatever substrate you have, whether you're buying a bag from somebody else or you're going to make your own, I need to see your substrate ingredients, and I need to see your tub. Now, here's what's going to win. You're going to win a bag. Then you're going to send me your address with pictures that you are truly ready. If you send me your address and there aren't pictures showing you're truly ready, I can't send you the bag. Okay? So 2 people are going to get fresh baggies from us. We're still going to give away some fruit, too. To others that aren't ready to be growing right this moment. But let's give away, here's what I'm gonna do. Give me 1 second. So only someone that can actually use the spawn immediately. I think I've made that pretty clear. Okay, sorry, Pops. Let's just do, for those people, 1 through 50. 1 through 50. 1 through 50. Go. I have a number in the chute. It's a number between 1 and 50. First person that could use a bag of spawn immediately. Here we go. It's nice to see the people that say they are on the grow right now. RX1's just got it. RX, congratulations. I'm happy to send this to my friend Ryan. He said 10, and 10 it is. Ryan, RX1, congratulations, my good friend. We're going to mail you this. Okay? We're going to mail you this, and believe it or not, bro, it's ready. It's ready to go. I'll tell you what I would do if I were you. Anybody. We need to hydrate this if we're going to break it to bulk. We need to get it soaked in water. What most people do is they take it out and they dunk it, they put it, and they let it float around in water. No. Just cut it off right here below the patch. Just cut it off here and pour your water in just to where it's covering your ball. And let it soak inside the bag in the water for about 2 to 3 hours. Remember that you did poke a hole for the injection, so that might get a little leak right there, tiny little leak. So maybe as this is soaking in a bag of water, maybe have it in a bowl. And that's it. Now you're ready. 2 to 3 hours later, you're going to cut it out of the bag, and you're going to break it, and you're going to add it to your substrate that already has a field capacity. And that's where all your moisture is going to come from. Okay? Okay. So that's the easiest and quickest way to hydrate your spawn. Sat-wise, they're going to be going for right around $40 a piece. They're going to be going for, and they'll be up on the site, and then $5 for shipping. It costs much more than that for me to ship them. It's costing close to $12 for me to ship them. So that's sort of folded into the $40 price. And then the packaging, and then I'm not doing the, I'm buying the bags of grain from somewhere, from Outgrow, who's doing a great job. So I have a fair amount of expenses in those. Okay. I don't want to take pre-orders right now, Herbie. I sincerely, that strain Allen is Golden Halo. Herb, I don't want to take pre-orders, even though that was in my brain. I don't want to disappoint people and have people sitting around, oh, I can't. I would just, once you've placed an order, you know your boxes are coming to you immediately. They're on their way. Here's what I am going to have to do. When we get this going, and I think this is going to be a big thing. Brock and I were talking about it. I'm getting ready to, because this is how Pops does things. You guys know this about me. Let's start 50 boxes today. Well, do you know you're going to have 50 people buying them yet? Do you know you can serve 50 people with them yet? No. Well, then maybe you shouldn't start 50. Thanks, Brock. How many should I start? He goes, do a limited run. Let's do 10, do 20. Once those are done, start another batch. And then you'll start to find out what your flow looks like. So we're going to start out with limited runs, okay? And the other part that does, let's be honest, it makes you, if you're serious, you're going to get serious. So I'm excited about that, okay? Chad, yes, you should soak Uncle Ben's spawn too. Yes, our spawn isn't nearly hydrated enough. It's actually taken most of the moisture out of the grain and stuff that it's been spawning on, colonizing on. So it's thirsty. Okay, it's a thirsty little fellow. All right. Oh, just that's what I want, Sadie. I want to take the hard part out of it. I just want to deliver to somebody the opportunity for them. Man, can you imagine getting a beautiful little ball of something you know is going to work? It's not. There's no problem with it. Add some pasteurized substrate, and in about 21 days, you're going to have your own mushrooms. Deborah, it's the same thing with jars. With jars, I just open the lid of my jar and pour water into it. Now, when I talk about water, here we use distilled water for almost everything. You don't have to. You can use tap water, but a lot of people's tap water have some real strong chlorines and stuff in them. If you don't have an opportunity to use distilled water, what you'll want to do, fill up a big pail of water Put it outside for 24 hours. In 24 hours, believe it or not, just because it was outside, lots of the contaminants that have been added by our water purification plants have evaporated out of the water. Your water will be 10 times cleaner if you just pour it into the tap and then let it sit for 24 hours if you have no other option. Bottled water usually is pretty good, but I don't know that bottled water is any cleaner than any other water. I think bottled water might have a whole gimmick going on. Another thing, here's the easiest thing in the whole world. How do you sterilize water? Just boil it, right? You just boil it. You definitely want to soak your spawn, okay? So if you're looking, just get a huge pan of water, boil it, let it get down to room temperature, and use it. Now you've got some super duper clean water, okay? Is CPAP cleaner? CPAP is super clean, super clean. Sometimes, depending on what their filter is in the particular CPAP machine, okay? But water, we definitely want to hydrate our spawn, and this is now what we're talking about almost every time. I can't imagine any time that I don't want my spawn to be hydrated, okay? My substrate itself, whatever I'm using for the substrate, when I'm going to go to make my cake, my 3.5 to 4 inch cake, here's what I want to do. I want to calculate this. I want my ratios to be around 2 to 1, okay? Meaning I want about 2 parts of substrate to 1 part of spawn. So if you're going to get a pound of this, how many pounds of substrate would you want to be using? If you're using 1 pound of 1 pot bag, how many pounds of substrate? Big Mike, very good. 2 pounds. So you would, for every bag, 1 pound, that's going to take 2 pounds of substrate. Okay, substrate's one of the easiest things in the whole world. I'll show you next Tuesday. I wasn't ready. Next Tuesday, we'll pasteurize substrate right here in front of you. We'll get one of our little brick blocks of cocoa and a couple of other ingredients. And Anthony, that's not a bad call. Make a little extra so you can use the rest as a casing. That's not a bad call. But we'll basically, for every 1 pound of spawn, I'm going to do 2 pounds of substrate. The substrate, the most important thing on the substrate, and some of us are missing this, and we're blaming other things, but I can tell you where your greenies are coming from. Improperly pasteurized substrate. Improperly. You either didn't reach the temperature you needed to and left it there for long enough, or some people will over sterilize their substrate. And what you're doing is you're killing every single molecule in there, and some of those, then bacteria, and some of those are actually, at the end of the day, actually helpful. So if that's a whole nother science, and we could talk about substrates next week. The thing that you need to know, since we're talking about moisture, and that we absolutely always soak our substrate, excuse me, our spawn. I usually give it a 2 to 3 hours soak. You'll see what happens. I love doing it, actually. It's fun just in the human realm, because your little ball or your mycelium network becomes a cork. It fills itself up with whatever amount of water that it wants in its floater. And like sometimes you have to go in there and hold it down below the water. That's why now I just soak them in their bag. I used to take them out of the bag and put them in another thing and soak them and dunk them. And then you'd have to hold them down. I was like, this is dumb. Why don't I just do it in the bag? Or in the jar? But substrate. There's a thing called field capacity, okay? Oh my goodness, if you haven't been hydrating your spawn, you're actually taking your spawn in, and when you're making the cake, you're bringing in dry material. You want it naturally holding the amount of water that it wants to hold. Caitlin, that's a pretty amazing number. But there's only 56 likes. Let's get the likes up there. Okay. Substrate, real quick. We'll talk about it again next week because this is a good subject. Pasteurizing and field capacity. Field capacity is simply this. How much water is in your cocoa coir mix? How much water? Remember this. The amount of water you put in on day one when you're making your cake, when you're breaking that material to bulk. Who knows what breaking to bulk means? We throw that term around all the time and we do not necessarily know what it means. Breaking to bulk means I'm breaking up my spawn into my bulk tub. I'm not growing it as a little ball of spawn, which is one way you can do it, but I'm going to break it. And I'm going to get bulk as a result. Break it to bulk. So you're basically telling yourself, when I break this, I'm going to get more. That's what break it to bulk means. Okay? And how do you do it? The technique is the tubs and adding substrate to it. We could take this right here, never break it, and we'll still get mushrooms from it. We could fruit this. Okay? But I'm only going to get 1/4 ounce of mushrooms off it. I take this and I break it to get bulk. And what am I going to? I'll probably end up with maybe 2 ounces. Okay? So there's a difference. And that's another thing that is a good idea. Somebody just said, I'd take a chunk of that and put it in a piece. If you do get a bag or two of these from Popsy, from our website, it's never a bad idea to take this and take amounts of it and put in your bag or your jar to get yours started instead of using LC or agar. This will get your bags and your jars started super fast. And you'll know it's clean. You'll know that it's not contaminated when you break it and you add it to your bags to do a grain-to-grain transfer. Substrate, field capacity. When we first build our cake, we're putting all the water we're ever going to put in the cake. After that, it almost becomes a sin in my mind. I missed the target. If I have to do something to add more water to that cake in any other day after the day I've built it. Okay? Meaning all of the water is already in it. I shouldn't have to go back in. Pops, how come the top of my cake is dry? Because you started out too dry. RX, that is Golden Halo. Golden Halo. So, because it started out too dry. So now, what's happening is the mycelium in there is networking through your cocoa coir. And if the spawn started out too dry, it's out there looking for water. And if the cocoa coir started out too dry, this mycelium's going to eat and drink all of the water. And now it's pretty much done, and now you got a dry cake. That's not what we want. So we'll hydrate our spawn. How long? Just till it floats. Just till it feels, it's a nice cork. You could hydrate it for 12 hours, and it won't get any more water in it than after 2. Okay, you can sit there. I do it. I've done it. I've practiced. I've done I want to see how long I can just hydrate this thing. A week. It sits there in the bag for a week. It doesn't get any more water in it or any less water in it. That's the nature of mycelium. That's why they can make boats and floating objects and stuff out of it. It's not like it's a sponge and it's going to keep getting heavier and heavier. Naturally, it says, I've had enough water. I'm good. That's your ball of spawn. Your cocoa coir, it's another story. Cocoa coir is a sponge. It's a sponge at the bottom of the jungle. It's gathering up all the rain and stuff like that, holding on to the water, feeding the root systems. We don't want that to be too wet. What's one of the biggest, not the biggest, but one of the biggest causes of contamination? Over wetness. Stuff's way too moist. No, you got a little bacteria. Said, oh, this is going to be beautiful. Look at all this. I'm going to eat this up. Because you've given it an opportunity. It's too wet. Our balance as creators is to have it between too wet and too dry. Goldilocks. We want the Goldilocks spot. Okay? So the Goldilocks spot for starting with our cocoa coir is we add enough water. This is it. I'll talk about misting here in just a minute because it's going to lead us into our next subject. Our cocoa coir, we don't want it, and mix, we don't want it oversaturated. So we'll slowly add water till it reaches the point of, this is what they call field capacity. It's spelled F-I-E-L-D in mycology. This means what would the capacity of water be in the soil if we were out in the field? We have to recreate that in our tub. So what we do to know that if the amount is proper, most of us growers, especially when I first started growing weed, did anybody ever overwater their plants? You feel like you're really quite the gardener if you're out there every day watering. Oh man, I'm doing bloop, 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 bloop. And most weed growers, when they first did it, overwatered. You forget that weed's like a freaking desert plant. It'll live a long time without the water. But I tend to, when I'm gardening and I'm thinking I'm in it, I overwater. Okay, yellow leaves. Mushrooms, when you first start, you kind of want to do the same thing. You got your head in the tub every day. Oh, God, it's supposed to get watered. No. It's one of the worst things that you can do. So back to field capacity. When we make our cake, we're using saturated spawn that's already been soaked. And then we're going to use a saturated cocoa mix. The amount of water that's in that cocoa mix is all it would take is if I reached in and I grabbed a handful of that substrate mix and I squeeze, and I got to put a good squeeze on it. I could put a good squeeze on it and I get this drip, drip. If I get a squirt, if I get a lot of water coming down, I've added too much water. If I don't get anything coming out, I got to get a little more water in there. But our field capacity that's the quickest and easiest test. And if you give it the old squeeze test and you get just a little drip, you know that the water is just about perfect in your substrate. Add that to the saturated spawn, and 2-to-1 ratio. And we want our cakes to end up at about 3 to 4 inches thick. So now you have to figure out what size tub do I need that I can end up with a 3-inch cake if I only use 1 bag. Or if I use 2 bags. And I'm substitute jars for this as well. 1 bag, 2 bags, 3 bags, etc. Well, the 54 quart that we talked about yesterday, the old Cadillac, the absolute perfect is to make a cake 3.5 to 4 inches thick is 2 bags, 2 pounds. So it might be, we're finding out almost 4 jars to make a pound here. Oh, I take that back. It's two jars. 2 jars make a pound. Okay. So if I want to do a 54 quart and a cake that's about 3.5 to 4 inches thick, I want to do 2 pounds of spawn, and I want to do about 4 pounds of substrate. And then if you'll calculate, you'll find out when you put it together and you put it in there, you end up with a cake that's about 3 to 4 inches thick. Okay? So the calculations when you're using the 54 quart are super, super duper easy, and they're already done for you. Liner. This is where it becomes most important. When we first start, I just said it, and this is super, super key. You should have added all of the water that you're going to add when we make our cake. After that, the only reason that we even have a mister, and it's an important reason, the reason we're going to have a mister is to create humidity inside of our microchamber, our microenvironment. We want the humidity much higher in there than it is in the room that we're living in. Okay? We want it 90 plus. 95 plus is okay with the cubensis. They don't mind. What they don't want is water sitting on the cake. Water on the cake is death. So if you're spraying the cake surface with your water, you're killing the colonization and you're oversaturating the cake because it was supposed to already be the right amount. So our misters almost never want to touch the cake surface. I will do this. I will open a tub and I'll take a mister and point it straight up into the air and just let this gentle. By the time that water hits the cake surface, it's been atomized quite a bit. And all it'll feel like to that colonized surface, it'll feel like a morning dew coming over the mountaintop. Oh, mushrooms love that. They love morning dew. Why do you think they pop up in the mornings all the time? Okay? So, but spray my cake? Kill me. Over the top of the cake? I can do that. Here's what happens with our liners. Liners do a couple of major things. We talked about one of them yesterday, and the biggest thing is they take all of the energy from the cake that you've made, and they say, when we fruit, we're going to send our fruits out the top of the cake, because sending them out the sides, all we see there is black plastic. And the black plastic and the side pins don't go well together. So the side pins change their mind. They say, you know what? Even though we do like to sneak out the sides of the cake, it's being blocked from light because it's black. So there's no light on it, and it isn't going to spend its energy trying to get out there, even though there are little creepies that come up the side. And we're basically forcing the cake to spend all its energy on its upper surface instead of its sides. That's the number one purpose of the liner. The number two purpose of the liner, it's really simple. It's funny story. When I first started, I taped my liner inside the tub. I would put the liner and then I'd go around the whole top of it and tape it. So it'd look cool and it wouldn't be flopping and it wouldn't. You're supposed to, when you put your liner in, it's supposed to be loose. Okay? We've showed you guys how to make liners on a couple of videos. And here's something interesting. I just saw it on Amazon 3 or 4 days ago. There's a company out there selling liners already pre-made. They're already formed corners. I said this to a friend of mine 2 years ago. I was, if we knew a plastic molding company, we should go into the liner business and make liners for 54 quarts. People, sell 10 packs of liners. People would be buying those like crazy. Somebody's got the idea and they're doing it. So you can look for that if you don't want to make them yourself. You saw that too, Penny? Yeah, it's smart. It's a couple of years ago. Obviously, I wasn't the only guy to have the idea. But our liner wants to stay loose. And here's what happens just by the nature of the physics of our cake. The plastic on the liner, here's the, let's say this is the side of our cake right here, and it's 3 inches thick, right? The plastic, and here's the plastic on the cake, it actually, and here's what happens too, because we've only put in a certain amount of water, your cakes shrink over the course of the 20 days as they move towards fruiting. they start to in from the sides, and it's a great look. You like to see that. You want to see your cakes shrinking. That means that there's mycelial network in there, spits and corpus going everywhere, and they're grabbing the water out of the substrate and the spawn, and they're sucking it together. So if you see separation from around the edge of your cake and your cake is starting to shrink in, high five. That's what you want. Here's what happens with the liner. The liner starts to shrink in with the cake. That's what you want. We want the liner to go with the cake and not stay stuck to the tub, which is one of the reasons there's no point at all in painting that tub, because you end up, there's no movement of the liner. It's just a painted liner. Why is the liner? Here's the reason the single reason the liner is the most important of all things. We're trying to avoid sponge cake. Sponge cake. Sponge cake is your cake's too wet, you're going to get green, and you didn't even spend a lot of time misting the surface. As a rule, we always, if I lift a lid off of a tub, I'm automatically making the humidity less in that tub. I've subtracted humidity level. If I go to just put the lid back on, normal, where it was before I came up to the tub and where it is now, my humidity level are vastly different. I want my humidity level to get back up to where it was when I opened the tub in the first place. So when I close it, I want the humidity to always stay about the same. How we do that is our mister. We simply mist our sidewalls. We have a tubber here. We have a liner here. Here's our tub. Here's our liner. Our liners are about 3.5 to 4 inches tall. Actually, I make my liner 4 inches tall, so it covers the whole cake. And as you remember, it runs off right off the bottom of that hole we have here. There's your liner. Well, the liner's in here loose. So when I am trying to recapture the humidity in my tub, I missed the sidewall. I missed all 4 sidewalls. And then that humidity, or the moisture, will run down here between the liner and the tub. And it's actually here. And it's never touching the cake itself. So I'm not going to get sponge cake. And then it'll also run down here. And believe it or not, underneath my liner, I'll have a little pool of water. Over the course, not pool, but it'll be moist as can be under here. It's never going to impact the bottom of my cake. If I didn't have a liner, all of this would run down, it would hit the side of sponge cake, it would run down, and it would hit the bottom of sponge cake. So just painting the side of my thing doesn't give me my liner effect. It's this area right in here that literally saves your cake and makes it healthy. Okay? One more thing. I think I showed this to you the other day. In this case here, we're running instead of a liner, I have a tray in here, one of my green trays. Well, that green tray is acting like the liner, isn't it? That green tray is my liner. So all of my humidity is going to go on the walls of the tub and then seep down and go on the bottom. But my humidity is on the walls, not on top of the cake. And as you can see in this case here, it's colonizing quite nice. So that's a really neat idea. If you can find tubs with trays that are pre-made that'll fit down in there, this is a fantastic tech. Okay? And then when I showed you guys the other day, when you see it like that, that means there's airflow exchange going in and out of this port between this one up here, one straight across, this one here. There's air triangulating all through here. This tub has some beautiful FAE. And yes, that is a 30 quart. Okay? So that's a little bit of moisture tech and liner tech for today. Okay. Electric humidifier. So when I first started, I thought I needed to humidity. Like, let me get a humidifier because I want to do it like scientifically. So cool. I probably bought 5 different kinds of humidifiers, modified them with their own hoses. I would make a hole in one of these tubs and you'd stick it in there, turn it on. Your whole tub would fill up with humidity, all of that. Humidifier is the biggest waste of time you can ever have in mycology. I hate to say it because I really wanted to come up with a system where it's like the coolest thing ever. The only way it works is open shelf or Martha tents. And you have to have drain spaces. Because believe it or not, that humidity that we're creating with the humidifier creates a lot of water. And all of that water goes where? Not just on the tub walls, but down onto the surface. Whenever we use a humidifier, you end up with soaky, soggy cakes because you can't control where the water is falling. When I spray my my tub's edges, I'm getting the same effect, and I can control where my water is going to end up. So I have 5 humidifiers I could give away here. I got humidifiers up I kept thinking, oh, it's the humidifier. This one's giving out too much. Let me get a controller on this one. Don't spend a dime on a humidifier. What you want is a good mister. And the best misters have a spray level that they call atomizer. You want to add, I know we all tried the humidifier because we're supposed to. But I would highly recommend don't bother. Get yourself a mister with an atomizer that atomizes, which it makes it, the water molecules that are coming out are super, super fine. Okay? We're going to do a giveaway. We got 2 giveaways. I have to give away another box of Spawn, and I have to give away some fruit. I still haven't seen Gypsy Life here today. I know, Greenie, it's so sad. I'm admitting it. I think I have 5 humidifiers sitting around here. You know, one of these days when I do the huge, huge operation, you might have an overhead humidifier system that's misting the whole room all at once or something. Yeah. I haven't seen Gypsy here, but that's okay. Atomizer mister. And yes, I use distilled water for that. I spent a couple $100 and bought a nice distilling machine. And, I can run takes about longer than you think, 3 or 4 hours. And I can come up with a couple of gallons of distilled water. And then we just keep that going. So I have gallons and gallons and gallons of distilled water sitting around here. Okay. It hangs in the air a lot longer, Anthony, and then it also has more oxygen in it. There's more oxygen in each molecule, if that makes sense. Okay, I want to read this thing to you guys. I keep looking for Gypsy Life because the tea crew here, we owe her a gigantic thank you. Just a huge thank you. I can't tell you guys why, because that would be gauche. She wouldn't want me to. But I can tell you guys, I need 10 people here to just say, I believe you, Pops. Gypsy Life set us up. It was a donation for Mushfest. And when we say donation, we're not joking around. Okay? So I would like her, we can't, Sandy and I are going to do something special for her, but that isn't what she was asking for. She never even thought it would happen. The generosity is off the chart. It's off the chart. She also had, it blew my mind. I can tell you guys that. All right. DV boy, does it pay for your ticket? Practically. Okay. I could say practically. Let's hold off our last two giveaways until our reading is over. Okay? Before I read, I want to ask you guys, this is going to be a contest. Get your contest head ready. We haven't done this in a while. We haven't done definition. We haven't done definition in a while, right? I want 3 people to tell me the definition. I mean, I'm going to read a definition. You're going to say the word that I defined, and you're going to spell it on your screen, and you have to spell it correctly. Okay? So you have to spell it correctly. First 3 people on my screen to get the word correct, spelled correct, we'll move forward to a spin to win a bag of Spawn, 1 pound bag of Spawn. You ready? Good morning, Sony. There's a Sony Mishra here. Here we go, Sony. We're going to do, here it is. Here's the definition. A state or period of uncontrolled excitement or wild behavior. Go. A state or period of uncontrolled excitement or wild behavior. Euphoria, bliss, ecstasy, celebration, frenzy. What other words are up here? Mania, frenzy. Good. You guys are doing good. I'm just looking here. Mania. Leonard Oaks, you have to spell it correctly. I'm sorry, I asked for it. There, you got it correct that time. We have 3. The answer is frenzy. The answer is frenzy, okay? Leonard corrected himself just in time. We have 3 people that got it correct. Natalie, Bob Johnson, and Leonard Oaks. Now that I have the 3 of you, can all 3 of you actually use this bag of Spawn? Can all 3 of you actually use this bag of Spawn? If you can't, I'll move you forward to another round. Be honest. I'll put you in the final round for something else. But Bob J., Leonard can. Nat said, no, Pops, I can't. Move me forward to another round. I will. Bob J. can use it. And how about you, Leonard? Can you use it? Wait. Leonard says yes. How about you, Bobby J.? And Bob says yes, he can too. I'm going to give it to one of the 2 of you. We're going to give 1 is to Bob Johnson. 2 is Leo. 3 is nobody gets it. How do you like that? 3, sorry, Pops keeps it. 2. Thank God Pops didn't have to keep it. You know I was going to spin again, right? Leo! Leonard Oaks. Leonard Oaks, there's a big RX in Leonard Oaks. Leonard, when you send me your address, I also need to see a picture of your tub, and I need to see a picture of your substrate mix. Even if it's not mixed up yet, that you're going to get it. So send me your address and send me your substrate mix, and I'll send this poundo to Leonard. Okay? Let's do our reading. And then we're going to do, I'm going to give a 1/4 ounce away today. I'd like to give a 1/4 ounce of fruit away to somebody here in a few minutes. We have had a huge amount of people here today. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's nice to see fruit. It's nice to see fruit. Okay? Nat, I'm moving you forward to the final round for a 1/4. We're going to try to get 3 people to get a spin on that one. Okay? I'll only need 2 more spinners. Listen carefully to this. We used the word frenzy a moment ago. Frenzy is a neutralizer. When we spend our energy in frenzy, it's a neutralizer of our real energy. And I think we've been programmed to be frenetic. Anybody agree with me? There's programs in us. We've literally been programmed to be frenetic. We have not been programmed to slow down and watch the spider crawl. That isn't what we've been programmed. So we have these frenzies in us. Another thing that happens with frenzy is our ego jumps in. Well, I'm busy. I got 100 things to do. Your ego starts getting involved in frenzy. Believe it or not. People get proud of it. I'm so busy. Like it's a badge. So Thomas Merton wrote this. To allow oneself to be carried away by a multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone in everything, is to succumb to violence. The frenzy of the activist neutralizes his or her own work. You're an activist? You got something super important? This is your pet. You're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You're neutralizing your own work. Pops knew that a while ago. Pops, I'm going to read something else here to you guys, the rest of this. You got to pick 1 or 2 areas of your life that are your passion. You get pulled in too many different directions, you'll get nothing done. And then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to get that, and then I can't wait for it. And it's all, you weren't doing anything wrong. You were just frenzying. And you're neutralizing yourself. Merton wisely challenges not just to slow down, but at the heart of it, wait for this, accept our limitations. What if one of our friends says, you don't even have the ability to do it. You don't have the qualifications. You don't have the time. You don't have the resources. You're not making wise decisions. It's not your time for that. We are best filled with the divine, but we have 2 hands and 1 heart. We're divine, but we only have 2 hands. See, the divine guy can do almost anything. Jesus Christ over there in Australia, water to wine. Me? I don't have two hands. One big heart. In a deep and subtle way, the want to do it all, the want to be it all, and though it comes from a desire to do good, it often becomes frenzied because our egos sees our goodness as a way to be revered. Oh my God, that's Pops' I'm listening to that out loud. Our goodness is our ego's way. Well, I'm so good, I'm so busy being good. Don't you revere me? Ego boy. You're frenzy. Just so your ego can feel good. You're doing way too much. So everyone thinks I'm frenzied up good. So you can revere me. That speaks to me when I was back in the church. First of all, needing someone's reverence. I have done this many times, not wanting to say no, not wanting to miss an opportunity, not wanting to be seen as something less than totally compassionate. Well, if I tell them no, they're going to think that I've got to be completely compassionate, so I'll say yes to another project. Sign me up. But whenever I cannot bring my entire being, I am not there. It's like offering to bring you many cups of coffee through a crowd. I'll always spill something hot on the innocent along the way. It's usually our kids. Hello, Mr. Potato. I'm glad everybody's saying hello to you. Helen Luke speaks to all this when she talks of the trap of good works. Are you guys liking this one today? I only have one more paragraph. Is this good this morning? Helen talks about the trap of good works. She refers to those who take refuge from themselves in an unreflected pursuit of good, pouring all their energy into the redemption of society and other people, while blind to their own personal darknesses. I have an activist girlfriend, not girlfriend, but a friend. She's so busy running around trying to be in charge of Pride in Verndale that I don't even know if she's proud of herself anymore. I gotta have a talk with her. She can't say no to a single Pride parade or flag ceremony or nothing. We have to be careful what our pursuit of good is. And why are we pursuing good? So we can be revered? Have a beautiful weekend, moms. I love you. It seems the old adage is a good place to start. Do one thing and do it well. Though I would also say, do one thing at a time and do it entirely. That will lead you to your next moment of love. So the weekend message is stretchers that are stretching yourselves out, and you have a right to say no, you have boundaries, you have places, you need to not frenzy, you need to pick a few things. And I'm talking to Pops. Pops is old. And why am I doing let me check myself. Is my good because that is who my nature wants to be, or is it my good because I want you to revere me? And you're not going to get anything done spread too thin. And society didn't tell you that wasn't okay. Society told you the more you do, the cooler you are, the better you are. And we're here to tell you you're hurting yourself. And you're probably spending a little time in your ego. Giveaway. Let's give away. We have. I know what I'm going to do. I have to get 2 more people. I have to get. Excuse me. I have to get 2 more people. To spin with Nat. So let me get 2 more people. I'm going to read. Two true false statements. Only 2 this time. Because I only want 2 people. I'm going to get, and the first 2 people to get these true false statements correct will move forward to a spin to win round with Nat. First statement. Most of Earth's oxygen is produced by the rainforests. True or false? Second, clouds are nearly weightless. True or false? Go. I need 2 answers. Okay, I got it. Now, for full disclosure, the answers were false. Bob J did get it correct early on, but Bob, you just spun on the last spin. So I feel like I should give another person the opportunity. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to move on from you on this one, Bobby. This one, even though you didn't win last one either, you did get in on a spin. The answers were, most of Earth's oxygen is produced by the rainforests. False. Oceans account for over half of Earth's oxygen population. And secondly, clouds are nearly weightless. False. A cumulus cloud can have up to 1 million pounds of water droplets. 1 million pounds floating around in the sky. We have Nat. Nat, you're going to be number 1. Ronnie Boss, you're number 2. And Jonathan K, you're number 3. Goes to Jonathan K. All right? Jonathan K, what we're going to be sending you is 2 8s. You're going to get one like that, and you're going to get one like that. So we're going to send you that. Comes out to a quarter. I'm going to send you that when you send us your address. And then get that out to you ASAP. So we've got RX, Leo, Jonathan K. And I feel like I've run too long. So next week, let's give away a bunch more stuff. I found a box. Listen to this. I found a box that I hadn't. It was mailed to us about 3-4 weeks ago by one of you guys. I'll tell you who it was. It was Hager's Bomb. I think Kim answered before me. Well, we just sent Kim something literally yesterday morning. So let's go ahead and send it to you, Jonathan K. Thank you. Okay? And Kim, too. Kim, wonderful. But we just sent her something wonderful yesterday morning. Okay? I love trying to get everybody something. I really do. I want to get everybody out there should be getting something. If the same people have getting it over and over, even if you just got something a week ago, give it away to somebody. Okay? What was I saying? Oh, so I found a box. And it's a Haig's box, Badgie. It came from Haig's. You're not going to believe what was in it. And I can't believe that it's been sitting here for 3 weeks unopened. So next week is going to be a Haggy week. And Haig's, I need you for Tuesday when I get back here, have a game ready. I'll do some too, but you have to do a game because Well, I'll just give you guys an example. Small example. This is only a small example of what was in the Hague's box. Eighths coming out the wazoo. Okay? So, Haguesy, I can't believe that this thing sat around, but I think timing is perfect. It'll be a perfect thing right before the Mush Fest. Let's get some of that out and around and let people see what you're up to out there. That guy can grow some mushrooms, you guys. All right. And he gave it to you guys. And he gave it to you guys. All right. Opie, we'll talk about that next week if you're here. We'll have time to cover that. Okay. Have a great day, you guys. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Clearly, I'm stalling here because I don't want to go. Clearly. But thank you guys all. And you've been my therapist this week. I owe you. Have a great weekend. Take care of each other. Go out and find something wonderful to do on Sunday that's filled with service and goodness. Nat and Cleany and Marilyn and Anthony and Alan and Satter and Holly and Nerdy and Anthony and Mike Baraball and Holly. And Big Mike loves us all. We love him. And Benny Ben and Ronnie Boss, please don't go. And Penny Pack, you're a sweet lady. Cleany and Satter and Billy D. Dang right we are. And Mikey and Free, you have a wonderful weekend, dude. Anthony, you're a dude too. And they're from Herbie, Von Werby, come up. Holly, Chris, there you are. Ronnie, we're all therapists, right? Jonathan K. Cleany, Mike Baraball, Jackie Meowcat, Deborah, there you are. Zacko, Taco Tutu, Michael, good morning, Mike, and Hagues. I love that man. I love him. RX and Free and Nat and Biggie and Badgie. Keep laughing. And Kimberly and Joy. I will, babe. Sandy and Vegas. No, I'm pretty much over for this season. Vegas, no more fishing. Jesus, Holly, Deborah, Slingy, Anthony, Jesus Christ in Australia. Jonathan K, Mike Mushy, how are you doing, Mushy? Caitlin and Pidgey Page and Leonard and Rasta, you are the Docmon. Hippie, Meow Kitty, Waz, Sherry, there you are. Jesus Christ and Captain Cannabinoid. DV, Flying Wing, Jesus Christ, Greenie, and Satwise and Silly Al. There's a bunch of us here. Opie and Mikey and Mushy and Hippie and Mike and Herbie and Caitlin and Leonard and Sid, Jesus. There's Jolie. Hello, Jolie. B. Hendricks. Cole Arias. There he is. Badgie. I know it is. But those guys want to go hunting, Badgie. Maybe we should go fishing. Vegas. Jesus. Leroy. Pops. Peace. When I point at you like this, that means it's goodness time. Means it's goodness to you. It means you're supposed to be good. Have a wonderful weekend. I love you guys. Thank you.